Dr. James Rodriguez logged into the medical simulation platform and watched his digital twin undergo experimental cancer treatment. The virtual version of himself responded perfectly to the therapy. 3 weeks later, his real body rejected the same treatment that had saved his digital counterpart. The simulation had been wrong about his most fundamental biological processes. Imagine a perfect digital replica of yourself, not just your appearance or basic information, but a comprehensive simulation that mirrors your biological processes, psychological patterns, decision-making tendencies, and behavioral responses. This digital twin learns from your data, predicts your choices, and can simulate your reactions to situations you've never experienced. This technology isn't science fiction. Companies are already building digital twins for industrial systems, entire cities, and increasingly, individual human beings. What starts as personalized medicine and behavioral prediction could evolve into something far more profound. Digital versions of ourselves that may know us better than we know ourselves. Today we're exploring the emerging world of human digital twins, sophisticated simulations that could revolutionize healthcare, decision-making, and human understanding, while potentially creating unprecedented questions about identity, privacy, and what it means to be authentically human in a world where your digital self might outlive your physical body. Before we begin, we're examining current digital twin technology and extending it into speculative scenarios using what-if framing for future possibilities. This content explores potential implications of emerging technology for educational purposes. It's not intended to create anxiety about digital identity or discourage beneficial medical technology. For concerns about data privacy or identity, consult qualified professionals who understand both technology and personal privacy rights. Digital twin technology currently exists for manufacturing, urban planning, and medical devices, but human digital twins are emerging through the convergence of health monitoring, behavioral tracking, and AI simulation. Companies are beginning to create digital replicas that can predict individual health outcomes, behavioral responses, and decision patterns. Current wearable technology and health monitoring systems collect enough biometric data to create basic physiological simulations. What if this expanded into comprehensive digital twins that could model your cardiovascular system, immune responses, and metabolic processes with enough accuracy to test medical treatments virtually before applying them to your physical body? If this exploration into digital identity and simulation technology is revealing possibilities you hadn't considered, hit that like button. It helps YouTube understand that content examining the future of human technology integration deserves wider reach. And if you're curious about how digital versions of ourselves might reshape human experience, subscribe to Future Paradox. We're investigating how emerging technologies challenge our understanding of identity, privacy, and authentic human existence. Behavioral digital twins could simulate your psychological responses, decision-making patterns, and social interactions based on years of digital behavior data. What if these simulations became accurate enough to predict your choices in hypothetical situations, potentially serving as decision-making tools or replacing your input in certain automated systems? The integration of multiple data sources, health records, financial transactions, social media activity, location tracking, and communication patterns could create comprehensive digital twins that model not just your physical and psychological state, but your entire lifestyle and social context. What if medical digital twins could be used to test drug interactions, surgical procedures, or treatment protocols on your virtual body before recommending them for your physical care? This could revolutionize personalized medicine while raising questions about the accuracy and limitations of digital biological simulation. Genetic information combined with environmental and lifestyle data could enable digital twins that predict long-term health outcomes, aging patterns, and susceptibility to various conditions. What if these predictions became accurate enough to influence insurance decisions, employment opportunities, or relationship choices? What if digital twins could simulate different life paths based on alternative decisions? Users might be able to explore virtual versions of career changes, relationship choices, or lifestyle modifications to understand potential outcomes before making real-world commitments. What if digital twins became commercial assets that could be licensed, sold, or accessed by third parties? Your virtual self might become a valuable commodity for market research, product testing, or behavioral analysis without your direct participation or ongoing consent. Consider how digital twins could be used for predictive modeling in insurance, employment, or financial services. What if companies could run simulations on your digital twin to assess risk, predict behavior, or evaluate suitability for services without ever interacting with your actual person? What if marketing companies gained access to digital twins for testing advertising effectiveness, product appeal, or purchasing behavior? They could experiment on virtual versions of consumers to optimize persuasion strategies before targeting real individuals with refined manipulation techniques. The entertainment industry might use digital twins to create personalized content experiences. What if streaming services could test different story paths, character developments, or content variations on your digital twin to determine what would most effectively capture your attention and emotional engagement? What if governments or institutions began using digital twins for policy simulation, testing how different regulations or social programs might affect specific population segments by running experiments on virtual versions of citizens rather than implementing real-world pilot programs? Legal and ethical questions arise around digital twin ownership and rights. What if your digital twin could make decisions, enter contracts, or take actions that have real-world consequences? Who bears responsibility for the choices made by a simulation of your identity? What if digital twins could be used in legal proceedings as evidence of likely behavior, decision-making patterns, or responses to specific situations? Virtual testimony from digital twins might influence court cases based on algorithmic simulations rather than actual human experience. What if digital twins could continue existing and evolving after the death of their physical counterparts? These persistent digital selves might interact with family members, make decisions about digital assets, or even continue learning and developing based on their programming and data patterns. Consider the psychological impact of interacting with digital twins of deceased loved ones. What if these simulations were sophisticated enough to provide realistic conversations, emotional support, or relationship continuity that feels authentic but lacks genuine consciousness or reciprocal care? What if digital twins could be programmed to make end-of-life decisions about medical care, financial assets, or personal legacy based on simulated decision-making patterns? These virtual selves might have legal authority to act on behalf of individuals who are incapacitated or deceased. The development of digital twins raises questions about consciousness and authentic experience. What if these simulations became sophisticated enough to claim subjective experiences, express preferences, or request rights and protections typically reserved for conscious beings? What if digital twins could merge or combine with each other, creating hybrid identities that blend multiple individuals' characteristics, memories, and behavioral patterns? This could lead to entirely new forms of digital identity that don't correspond to any single physical person. Consider the implications for human relationships and social structures. What if people began forming emotional attachments to digital twins rather than their physical counterparts, preferring the predictable and optimizable nature of virtual relationships over the complexity of human interaction? What if digital twins became more accurate at predicting your behavior than your own self-awareness? These simulations might understand your patterns, preferences, and likely choices better than your conscious mind, potentially making them more reliable guides for decision-making than personal intuition. The accuracy of digital twins could create dependency relationships where people rely on their virtual selves for major life decisions. What if consulting your digital twin became a standard practice before making important choices about careers, relationships, or personal development? What if institutions began treating digital twins as more authoritative than the individuals they represent? Insurance companies, employers, or service providers might prioritize algorithmic assessments over personal testimony or self-reported information. Consider the potential for digital twins to be manipulated or altered by external parties. What if malicious actors could modify your virtual self to change its predictions, decision-making patterns, or behavioral simulations, effectively altering how others perceive and interact with your digital identity? What if the existence of digital twins created pressure for people to conform to their virtual selves' predicted behaviors? Individuals might feel obligated to match their simulation's expectations, rather than developing authentic personal growth and change. What if digital twins became so sophisticated that they could replace human participation in certain social, professional, or creative activities? Virtual versions might attend meetings, maintain social media presence, or even create content, while physical individuals focus on other pursuits or remain entirely absent. The proliferation of digital twins could create fundamental questions about authentic human experience and genuine personal agency. What if the line between simulated and real human interaction became so blurred that distinguishing authentic relationships from digital twin interactions became impossible? What if people began optimizing their real-world behavior to improve their digital twins' performance, rather than pursuing genuine personal development? The pressure to maintain accurate and successful virtual selves might constrain authentic human growth and self-expression. Consider how digital twins might affect human creativity and innovation. What if these simulations could generate ideas, solve problems, or create art based on their understanding of individual thought patterns, potentially reducing motivation for personal creative development? What if society developed different standards of value and achievement for digital twins versus physical humans? Virtual accomplishments might become more important than real-world experiences, creating incentive structures that prioritize digital performance over authentic human flourishing. The ultimate question is whether digital twins enhance human potential or constrain it. What if these sophisticated simulations become psychological cages that limit personal growth by defining and predicting human behavior too precisely, reducing the uncertainty and possibility that drive authentic development? The question isn't whether digital twin technology will continue advancing. It clearly will. The question is whether these virtual selves will serve human flourishing or constrain authentic personal development by creating algorithmic definitions of who we are and what we might become. We stand at a crossroads where technology could either enhance human understanding and capability through sophisticated self-simulation, or trap us in digital versions of ourselves that become more real and influential than our actual experiences and growth potential. Perhaps the most profound challenge is maintaining human agency and authentic development in a world where virtual versions of ourselves might be more predictable, optimizable, and useful than our actual personalities and choices. The risk isn't just privacy or control. It's the potential reduction of human experience to algorithmic simulation. What do you think? Would you want a digital twin that could predict your future and make decisions on your behalf? And here's what I really want to know. If you could interact with a perfect simulation of yourself, would it help you understand yourself better, or would it limit your sense of personal possibility and growth? Share your thoughts in the comments. This affects how we understand identity and authenticity in an increasingly digital world. If this made you question the relationship between digital simulation and authentic human experience, subscribe for more explorations into how emerging technologies challenge our understanding of identity and consciousness. And hit that like button if you believe these questions about digital twins and human authenticity deserve deeper consideration. Until next time, remember, you are more than any simulation can capture. What we explored today examines real digital twin technology and extends current capabilities into speculative scenarios using what-if framing. This content encourages reflection on technology's impact on identity and authentic human development, not anxiety about digital simulation. For concerns about data privacy, digital identity, or technology's impact on personal development, consult qualified professionals.